Crafting your $100 million unicorn offer. Like I said, no-brainer offer that uses Alex Hormozi's $100 million offers framework. And he's done millions and millions and millions of dollars in business. If you guys don't know who he is, I strongly encourage that you look him up and follow him. I mean, his content is killer and super valuable and beneficial for any business owner. So this very much follows that, as well as the unicorn DNA. So inside of this, like I said, it follows Alex Hormozi, and then we add in the unicorn win component of this. So the way I did this is we've got the Hormozi structure, and then we've got incorporating the unicorn win elements. So that part I'm actually really excited about, and I think this makes this a $200 million offer, maybe even more. So yeah, we're really just increasing that. So anyway, so the goal here, like I said, is it makes it super easy for somebody to say yes because it handles all of their objections, it touches on all of their emotions and their pain points, and them as an individual being aligned with it, and that it's easy to communicate and portray to people. So what makes it that? Number one is, does it solve an urgent, high-value problem? Is what you're offering something that the market actually needs? The next part is, does what you're offering give so much more value than you're asking for that it's like a steal? They feel like they're practically stealing it, right? And then does it remove the hesitation? So this involves having a guarantee of some sort that when somebody hears it, they're like, oh, I might not do it because of this, but you just solved that by giving me this, right? And then we talked about incorporating the unicorn win element, which means once you have your offer nailed down, as unicorns, we're always looking for opportunities to share and leverage other solutions. And this is a great way to incorporate that by having an offer that's so good that they can't resist from turning it down, and then that they can't turn it down, and then having like an upsell or even including somebody else's services within your offer, that can be a really good way to earn some referral commissions, right? So, and then the last part is it creates multiple streams of wins, kind of like I was talking about. If you can then tee it up for somebody else's service, or you, like I said, bundle it into your offer, great. Josh actually and I were working on a perfect example of that. We've been crafting his $100 million offer for mobile podcast production. And part of it is if somebody needs a location to go to, he can actually offer up my podcast studio that is going to be, ready for once we start offering it. But that provides revenue to me because he's selling the space that I have available to somebody else who needs that. So that's just a good way to kind of touch on how you can compound your offer with somebody else's service to provide a win for yourself, a win for the client, higher value for the client, higher leverage for you. You earn revenue from that as well. So that's kind of what I'm talking about there. Does that make sense? Any questions on this part? No?
And Daniel, you can utilize what we did as an example whenever you'd like. Just saying.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Right on. So, and here's the other thing with this, you guys. You have my dedication, focus, and commitment to create success. And this right here is probably one of the most impactful things that you can do to generate sales. Sales for yourself, and then, adding in the unicorn element, sales for other members. So if you don't have this, you're missing out. I promise you that. And I'm happy to jump on a call with you, happy to work through it with you, happy to look at whatever you put together and give you my feedback. I also suggest that you post it in Circle under the Unicorn Wins channel and get feedback from other members. Okay. So any questions on this? Because like I said, this is going to be very collaborative, very workshopy, and I want everybody walking away with at least a good idea of what their unicorn offer is going to be. So before I move to that, what questions do you guys have? Anything, any clarification that you need on this part? All right, cool. then let's move on. I hope you guys are ready to get some things done today. So let's start crafting it. Okay. The first part is you got to know who you're presenting this to. Who's your ideal client and what are you helping them solve? So the best way for this to work is you don't create an offer around your entire business, right? I have an offer for our Finding the Rainbow membership. I have one for our Climbing the Rainbow membership and one for our Top of the Rainbow membership. And the one that I'm going to use as an example is for this AI marketing machine that we've put together as kind of a lead into our Top of the Rainbow membership. So essentially, like I said, you want to know who your target audience is. So who are you helping? And then what do they struggle with? So what's the number one problem that they are facing that your solution helps them solve? Okay. So you would say, for example, I'm going to use our Finding the Rainbow membership to kind of explain how we've got this set up, right? So I would say that I help purpose-driven business owners, entrepreneurs, and connectors who struggle with growing their network and creating additional streams of revenue, period. And that's pretty much that statement. So who do you help and what do they struggle with, right? And so that's kind of the first part of this. So you guys should have, I'm going to put the link in the chat again. You guys should have this document. Let's make sure you've got that. And this is going to be the easiest way for you to copy and paste and fill that out. Here, let me just share this other screen. So if you click on the link I put in the Zoom chat, you're going to get taken to this page, Crafting Your $100 Million Unicorn Offer, which looks like this. Okay. And here you've got a link to the audiobook that Alex Hormozi wrote is $100 million offers. And then, other details about kind of what we just talked about, right? So you want to identify the problem and who you're helping. And then we're going to go through and define the dream outcome. So what are you actually helping them achieve? And then, yeah, we'll keep going through that. But I just want to show you this document so you guys can see that what you're going to need to do here is, go through and you would say purpose-driven entrepreneurs and connectors who struggle with growing their network and creating additional streams of income. And maybe they don't struggle with it, but they might, right? So this is the first part of the makings of your $100 million offer. And here's a cheat code, all right? Because all of this is important, I feel, to be able to create this yourself. But at the very end of this document, and I suggest you guys have this open and even potentially put the notes in here. But there's $100 million offers Chat GPT that if you're not using Chat GPT, highly recommend it. Highly recommend the paid version. But this is specifically trained on the $100 million offers framework. Okay. And there's another book called $100 million Leads that we'll get into at a later date. But you got to have your offer before you start getting your leads because otherwise they don't have anything to buy. Right. So make sure you have this Chat GPT open. Again, that's at the bottom of the document. I'm going to put it in the chat. And this will be a good way to start putting that together. Right. So to be honest with you, if you have your own unicorn GPT, or maybe you have your own GPT, mine's a unicorn GPT. You have your own landing page already that you could use some refinement, or you have, sales material, marketing materials that have your offer clearly defined. I would grab it and throw it into this GPT and say, help me craft my $100 million offer. All of this is good to know because at the end of the day, you need to massage it and change it and make it right for you and make sure it checks all the boxes. But this is going to help you do that yourself, right? So that's going to be the best way to really leverage that. And I just want to make sure you guys know that that's there for you. So yeah. So on that first part, as far as who you help and who and what they struggle with. I realize that's a typo. Oh no, sorry, no, it's not. Who you help these people who struggle with this problem, right? That's the first part of it. Okay. So what do you guys have? I'll give you just a couple minutes to outline that. And yeah, anybody have any ideas or want to state who they help and what they struggle with?
Me?
Daniela, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you please. I can wait. Seriously.
Okay, thank you. Hi, good evening, everyone. So, I basically help people who are looking for ways they could actually earn an extra stream of income and earn the opportunity to be able to travel more for less. This is via a travel platform. It's exclusive. So it's members only, and it's super affordable because that is what people are looking for. They're looking for ways to save money but still enjoy life at the same time. So I offer people the opportunity to travel more for less or and earn an extra income in 8 different ways just by sharing.
Okay. Great. Um, uh, Severina, do you want to kind of be our guinea pig as we go through this, and we can use you as an example and kind of craft your offer? Does that sound good?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, sounds
Thanks.
good. I think doing it interactive like that will be a lot better. So cool. All right. So you said, and this is where I realized I didn't make a copy. Kind of started with the who struggle with uh well, it's people who like to travel and want more freedom, maybe.
Yeah.
Who struggle with boarding, traveling as often as they want.
Mhm.
That's pretty much it, right?
That's yes. And also there's the income opportunity, which is completely optional, where it has a very, very interesting compensation plan just by sharing it with other people. Just like me telling someone about my favorite restaurant, it's as simple as that, and that's it. Once you become a member, you earn in 8 different ways from that. It's quite simple. So it can be done alongside any other businesses or jobs because you don't need much time for that. It's just quite simple.
Okay. All right. Got it. So what this could look like then is, I help them achieve uh ultimate travel freedom without spending as much as they typically would on airfare, hotels, rental cars. Is it just
I would make it a bit more simple. So, people spend hours searching for the best deals online. With this
Mhm.
platform, you have an all-in-one platform for all your travel needs in one place. So there's no need to spend hours looking for different travel deals. You have everything in one place.
Okay, got it. So, so this would be the ultimate result that they want, more clients, revenue, time freedom. So you help them achieve ultimate travel freedom and
Um,
mm, be like and you can tell me what you think should.
So I help them achieve the freedom to travel more for less and earn an income alongside, which is optional because we all need an extra income.
Question: are you going to have target audience, in different incomes? You might be able to do a deluxe version of that, kind of like a travel concierge, or is it just focus like market? Maybe an interesting way to.
I didn't get.
Yeah. So it's a question for your, is it just affordable travel? Or are you going to have a concierge type of setup for even people who are, have a little bit more resources?
So how this basically works, just think like, maybe Expedia, etc., but more advanced in one platform. So you're doing your own bookings and it's from budget to luxury. And you could even hire like a helicopter if you want for your transfers. It's like really, really
Cool.
and you have everything you need in one place, including a duty-free shopping mall where members get exclusive discounts on luxury.
Nice.
So it's not a travel agent or anything like that. So everyone does their own thing, and it's really, really affordable. That's something cool about it. Super affordable. Just about anyone could afford it.
That's really neat.
All right. So cool. So this is a pretty good start, I would say. I help them achieve the freedom to travel more for less without spending as much time or money finding the best travel deals in a fraction of the time it takes to shop through multiple travel sites.
Mhm.
Good starting point, I would say. And here's the thing. So we'll put this together, and then what I would suggest is, well, we can either copy all the text or download the document, and then we'll throw it into the GPT and ask it for its suggestions on ways that we can make it even better, right? So, but it's coming together, right? So the whole thing, I help people who like to travel and want more freedom, who struggle with affording, we'll go with to travel as often as they want, and I help them achieve the freedom to travel more for less without spending as much time or money finding the best travel deals in a fraction of the time it takes to shop through multiple travel sites. Okay, so we're getting there, right? So, what is the main product or service that you're offering? What and Severina, can you give me your website
So it's, hold on. I don't know it by heart.
or put it in the chat? Either way works too.
So it's actually,
And is everybody else following along as we're going through this? Would love to see what you've got in the chat. Um, and we can work through some things.
I put in the chat.
Cool. And then as far as your primary service or offer that you're trying to get people to convert to, uh, how would you describe that?
Voyage quest. Sorry, you were
No,
saying?
I'm asking you to multitask, and I don't believe in that.
If possible.
I can wait till you've got that in there.
There it is.
Cool. And you'll
Who is
see, we're going to do this two ways, the manual way, and then we're going to use the chat GPT and see what it comes up with without us doing anything. So MWR Life, making wishes real. I love it. Provides a global platform for individuals to create the lifestyle of their dreams, travel the world, and make wishes real. Cool. All right. So what's your primary goal? People come here, they learn about the site, save money on your travel bookings. It looks like this is probably the main goal, is to get people to click on learn more, and then there's probably a join button here. Yep.
And it's in multiple languages and currencies. It's available worldwide.
Okay.
You could just choose to just do the travel side, or they could do also the business side. So they
Okay.
have all the options. What I usually do is either I share one of our discovery calls presentations, because then we show people how to navigate and book, do their own bookings, do price comparisons for those who are new who want to see like how much they save. And so we have discovery calls twice a week just to give people an opportunity to see the platform and how it works. And so they could see how to use it, because just sending them directly to the website sometimes could be a bit confusing because it offers so much. So
Yeah.
this calls makes everything much more understandable.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you know what? And I'm glad that you said that because what you have here is great. The site is beautiful and it's, really well done, but it is a lot, right? It's a deep dive, it's a website, right? And what we're doing here is a great way to create a landing page or a funnel for a single offer, right? And so if you were to kind of pick one of these, and I know it's not going to be one size fits all, right? The free one actually might be a good way to get people started. But if you were to pick one that you wanted to kind of specifically focus on, that maybe provides just like, slam dunk price to value and, maybe is a good starting point for people that's low friction, what do you think would make the most sense?
I would say the plus, because you get access to life experiences. And those are very interesting packages because you get to stay in like five-star hotels with like different activities added, etc. And they usually like under $600. Sometimes it'd be like 300 and something. So it's like a 4 up to 6 days packages.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think you'll get that.
Yeah. That's pretty low friction. So yeah, and and it's not bad, but I could definitely see where if you had a more dedicated page that, and I don't know if you're allowed to, given how it's set up through Hunt Voyage quests, um, but yeah, I would imagine that it's okay. So, and we'll just proceed like it is, right? So the main product or service, Travel Advantage Plus. Okay, that's the product that we're offering, and this is their see exclusive travel membership that always beats online prices, backed by our 150% best price guarantee. That's honestly pretty solid, right? So.
Oh, Daniel, for this idea, there's a comparison that she could also mention something like there's no annoying timeshare or something involved. I don't know because this company we used recently, my husband and I Booksy to book Orlando that we never actually made it to yet, but it has timeshare involved and it looks like this is so much more amazing without the timeshare element.
Well, what makes this unique, what I usually what made me interested in this was that it has, besides the prices are very affordable, the membership, etc., they have 24/7 real people's customer service. So it's not like AI or anything like that, because no one thinks about that until they're stuck 2 a.m. somewhere and the hotel is closed or something. And that is something people need, real people service, customer service. And the other thing they have is that they have all the licenses to be legal worldwide. And a lot of companies out there don't have all the legalities. And it has a very high rating on Trustpilot. It has 4.8 Trustpilot ratings. So those are my key points when I tell people about this. Because everyone hears, yeah, travel deals. But it doesn't really, make it seem like it's so unique until they hear the things that really matter, what makes it so different. And it's over 11 years old, so it's not like a new company. So these are the key points I usually use with people when I tell them about it.
Nice. I love it. Well, and you've already got, a lot of this is built in, right? And so it's already pretty well defined for you, right? Your guarantee will be online prices backed by our 150% best price guarantee. So what does that mean?
So 9 out of 10, we are guaranteed to have the best prices
And if,
compared to that's what we usually are. The
okay,
best prices you could find out there. So the 150% best price guarantee is, I don't know at that point what they meant by that, but I guess they're meaning the 9 out of 10. Because I never took time to look at that 150%. But what it is 9 out of 10, we have the best prices compared to anywhere else.
okay. Let's see if we can find out. That seems like an important thing to mention. And here's the thing. You are in a position where you might not have so much flexibility to create your own offer, right? Where, other people on the call are full ownership of the entire, end-to-end sales offer, right? Where they have backed by our 150% best price guarantee. Somebody who's working on their offer might change that to, we'll have the best price on, travel, or we'll beat it, or we'll, refund you 50% of whatever that is, right? Or we'll, give you $100 credit to your next travel experience or something like that. You're kind of confined to what they have already set up. Maybe you could present things to them, but yeah, I think that that's important to kind of take note of, right? And it's okay. We're gonna go with what we've got and make sense out of it either way, right? So so they get access to, let's go back a little bit because I've been kind of filling this out as we've been talking. So the main product or service is being the Travel Advantage Plus, right? Your exclusive travel membership that will always be online prices. You have extra tools, which I'm going to grab from here.
It's the third round, the blue one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at which ones I might want to also include in this so that I'm not missing things, but that'll be good.
And another thing that could be added is with the Plus membership, you could add another name user could be a husband, wife, whatever, to use your membership where they're going to get their own logins and stuff. So they don't have to pay for another membership. That's
Okay,
something else that might be a key point.
got it. Yeah. See this.
Sandra, just this is amazing. I wanted to ask you or let you know that with a lot of people who look for inexpensive, from my experience, it's like this looks like it's way too good to be true. So you might want to throw that into the marketing, in terms of risk reversal and stuff that you've got there. The 150% guarantee, like highlight that even more. It's a really amazing offer.
Thanks. And there's also 2 weeks trial. Like if you're not happy, you get 100% back reimbursement after 2 weeks. If you're not
Cool,
happy.
cool.
So we probably don't need all of this, but
That's why we do the calls, because it makes it so much easier to understand and comprehend, because it offers so much. It offers more than what you pay for, basically. It really offers a lot just for $60.
I think the clarity, though, as to what partnerships or how you could put it without revealing, the secret sauce there, it would be interesting to add something to ensure people who are maybe hesitant to just even put their information in the first place. That's the thought to consider.
We could look in Trustpilot, maybe add in Trustpilot 4.8 ratings, because then they could
Yeah,
themselves.
right. Sure,
What I
sure.
did before I joined, I looked on Trustpilot and I did my research, and that was it.
Okay, cool.
yeah, so okay, so and Severina, what I'm thinking would make sense here is uh you could actually really, I think, put a lot of focus on this Plus membership and nail it with incorporating your own add-ons, right? And you can make yourself a little bit more unique from all the other people by doing that, right? So, MWR Life, they've got all these different ambassadors and people that are, offering this to people. What could set you apart from everybody else? I would say that, and let's talk urgency and scarcity. That's what I'm getting at here. Okay. So you're a person and you can help people. You can help people navigate and understand and kind of see the platform and see the options and help them book the best trip possible, right? So what you could say is sign up before the end of the month and get a free travel experience consultation with me, right?
Yeah.
We can actually walk people through it. That's just an idea. Any other ideas that you can come up with that you think might feel more aligned and more valuable for you?
Well, for me, that is fine. Sometimes people just maybe want to check a price comparison on the platform before becoming a member. I'm open to that. And I think that fits with that anyway. So they could see for themselves, doing a
Yeah.
live online price comparison. And what could create more credibility is that I'm also an ex-travel agent. So I know about the travel world. So if I see value in this, it's because I know what I'm talking about. So I think that could also help people to know that I'm not just a newbie just jumping into that.
Cool. So, free travel experience consultation with me, a former travel agent with extensive experience to ensure you get the best deal in the least amount of time. That's pretty
Yes.
solid. Yeah. So, on this doesn't determine or tell anybody really the value of each of these items. And it is recommended using the $100 million offer framework that you kind of have that in there, right? But it's not always totally required, right? So I'll show you kind of how we have that on ours, but yeah, honestly,
Sorry, it's actually shown a bit further up in the website. Each membership was offered in them so that everyone has a clear detail what's in there. So there was the part about the memberships. Yeah, that you go down
mhm.
and there, oh, right. Yeah, sorry. It's right under there. Compare membership plans underneath there.
Okay. Let's see.
Scroll up. Yeah. So the plus gives you all access to all of this.
Yeah.
Okay. So loyalty points is basically for every dollar you spend on your membership, you get one loyalty point, which you can use to have even more discounts on your future trips.
Mm-hmm.
That's what loyalty points are. So it's not an empty membership. And then you have everything where there's a tick on it included in the membership. So this is the way for people to see what their needs are. Because if someone wants to do cruises, they'll have to go with the elite membership.
Yeah. Totally. So the thing that I'm getting at with that is, so this framework talks about determining a value for each item listed on the inclusions, right? So membership has a cost, you get loyalty points, maybe those could have a per point value, right? The additional users, if you were to compare other travel sites that require you to pay for additional users, what would that number be? And then you could say, this alone is worth $20 a month because any other travel site charges you $20 a month or $50 a month, right? So then at Elite, you're getting $80 a month in additional value. The ability to enroll guest members, right? Having a mobile app. Any other travel site that has that charges X for the app, or it adds this type of value, right? And for you, I don't think that it's necessary, not at all. But I just want to kind of touch on that for others that might make some sense, right?
I
So
think the pinpoint, sorry, I think which is not found anywhere else. It's
mhm.
like you can never have a membership where you could add name users on your membership. And this here, basically up to the elite, you could add up to 5 users on one membership. So they don't have to pay extra. So I think that is something quite unique because like going to the gym, you can't just bring along other people for free on your membership. So that is something I think that is important as well, especially for families.
Okay, are you allowed to market this under your own travel agent experience, your own agency? Because an idea, if there's a business element, you might want to look into getting some people to promote for you. And I know that Indeed has certain requirements to post on. So if you have the professional experience as an agent, you might be able to have a team to promote this pretty neat structure.
I actually thought about Indeed because I've used it in the past for my marketing company I had before, but that's a good point. Thanks. I could actually
Cool.
market it where I could create my own other pages if I want. I have the
Yeah.
flexibility
Yeah.
to do all of that. All of that is okay. Like they're okay with that. So I do have flexibility. It's not like,
Great. Great.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, so this all looks pretty good, and I would say that that's a good approach for you, Severina, is, to kind of do that is build out a dedicated page for the Plus membership that is like so focused and you can send people straight there. Maybe that be the main call to action and where you direct people. And when they click sign up for the Plus, then it would just take them straight to this page, right? And you'll want to kind of design it to be similar unless they have another way of doing that. But I think that would probably make the most sense. Um, so here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to leave this up for a second and ask you guys to share what you've got. Share your bonuses, what your main services that you're offering in the chat. If you haven't done this, please take a second to outline that. Let me put the link in the chat again. And yeah, and then let's come back and look at what we've got. So it's 10:42. So we're pretty close. So give me just 1 second, and if you guys would maybe talk amongst yourself, share what kind of offers you're looking at, what you're kind of thinking, and let's just spend a little bit of time on this because I really want to make sure we're creating these things and taking action on that. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Like we'll say 3 minutes. Okay. I'm gonna leave this open. I'm gonna turn my camera off though. Take 3 minutes. What I would say, post your main service. I want to know your guarantee above all else. Guarantee and urgency. So what are you gonna do to create a sense of urgency? that supports the guarantee, the bonuses, and the main product that you're selling. All right, so I'm gonna do. Want to see some magic happen.
My service, well, one of my services is Airbnb short-term rental, co-hosting management. So what I do and what I offer is co-hosting. So let's say somebody owns a Airbnb, a short-term rental, and what we do is we take cover. We analyze the short-term rental, the Airbnb, how it's performing, and we analyze it and we help with a lot of different things: automation, marketing, ranking, and also guest communication, reviews to increase and pricing, to increase the revenue and the bookings for a location.
Nice.
So the guarantee is an increase of bookings and revenue. That's why I guarantee on when I do an audit and I review a property.
That's awesome. I like that. All right. Anybody else want to share or get any feedback on what they're thinking?
Well, in the vein of these travel ideas, I had an artist focused idea that maybe a lot of, different people who are already unicorns could assist with. And something like what Juan's thinking might even be a good match what Sandra has. But imagine an experience-based Airbnb where artists who are struggling to even show their work or have something amazing to offer, and then they create an experience, and the guarantee would be that you have the experience of or you could get another one free because the artists would be willing to do it again if they didn't create a life impact or a life once in a lifetime type experience. That's a thought. I just kind of had this idea for a while, but getting this kind of seeing the traction on Airbnb and the type of business models, it's it's something that I was thinking through.
And if that's something that you want to offer, or what are you kind of thinking for your own offer, Rhea?
Yes, for mine, I would say I would offer that myself, as well as a collective of people that I know could come together to have a collaborative type of offering. So, for example, I would be a mixed media artist on board, and we have someone who could do the filming of the experience. So we give them an end product saying, you watch an artist produced, and it involves music, it involves a lot of exciting elements that then churn out your product, which is your lifetime experience video. So it would involve multiple artists basically signing up for this type of experience to promote their work and get their connections, but also for people who are looking for the experience themselves. So a high-end deluxe, or we have to market it at a certain price to allow for all these artists to give their time. And so it's a really unique travel experience, and it could work with existing properties, therefore a lot of collaborative elements.
Okay. Cool. Well, yeah, I would say, outline that and what your core offering would be within that. And then, and let's really work on that and put it together if that's what you want to do, right? So, so let's keep moving forward. Unless let's see, Lawanda or Wendy, do either of you want to share kind of what you guys are thinking for your core offer and a guarantee and how you want to create urgency with it? Any thoughts? We come back to you.
Does this
Okay.
work? Did that unmute me? I had to come back to the, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I had to come back to the tab and then there's no controls, but I know the keystroke. So I was in the chat GPT working on refining my offer. I've narrowed from mission-driven leaders. One option was nonprofits, but now I'm focusing on pain relief leaders to leverage my neuromuscular, my decades of moving people out of pain. But I'm moving from B to C to B to B. So helping pain relief leaders increase steady income in 30 days without burnout is the short form, but I'm working on the stack right now in the chat GPT.
Okay. Cool.
Yes. Of course, we're building a simple school system to leverage the traffic on school. I'm not working with people who are building a new business. I'm not working with huge businesses. I'm working with people in that messy middle who just want to focus on doing what they love. They don't want to do the social selling or the endless content creation or the tech overwhelm shit. So school's perfect.
I got you. Okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. Yeah, I'll be interested to see kind of what you get to here in a little bit. All right, so let's keep moving forward. I want to make sure we cover the info as well as, have the examples. So the next part of this is really the unique unicorn spin to it, right? So where we take a normal offer and I mean, it says a true $100 million offer, but this is pretty solid, right? And it has the urgency and it maybe doesn't have scarcity, but you could say the first 20 signups only, something like that, right? So the first 20 people that sign up for the Plus membership are going to get that offer to have a consultation with you, Severina. And what might that value be? This alone costs, what would you say like a typical, I mean, I feel like most travel agents do that for free anyway, but if you were to put a value on that consult with yourself, what kind of number would you say that would be worth?
Well, I would say for 30 minutes, maybe, because we don't charge for that really. So it's
Yeah.
just put anything. I wouldn't
Well,
know.
if you were to give yourself like an hourly rate, maybe, where might that be, right? And then
Well, hourly rate, well, should I say like $40 maybe? 45?
yeah, I feel like we want to increase that a little bit. Let's just leave it out. The value price of that. People will see the benefit of that. If you do it for free, that might not be the right thing to offer anyway. So, you could maybe come up with a guide, or you could, offer, some sort of additional benefit that is unique to you, right? Because what I picked was pretty, no-brainer for me to come up with, but there might be something that you could offer that adds a layer of uniqueness to it, right? So maybe just think about that, right? So it's good. I think that that's great. So then the next part of this would be to think about who you could get involved with to offer an upsell for, right? And I mean, that could be all sorts of things. Just kind of thinking about, the people on the call. A couple ideas come to mind, right? Not only will you get your travel booked here, so once they sign up, right, then maybe you could direct them to another offer that's like, hey, do you shoot a lot of videos while you're out traveling? And do you need help creating content out of those? Because maybe it actually makes sense for you to have a stream of, high quality content that you put on your social media that aligns with your business or your offer or whatever, not yours, Severina, but theirs, right? So you could say, hey, Josh, what would you think about if you and I created a partnership, and anybody that buys my membership, I then offer them the ability to purchase, a travel documentary, or, a travel experience reel or reels or something, right? This is where you guys would need to figure that out. And I would say, Sabrina, what would you feel like would add some additional value that people would want, right? Because that might be good. Somebody like me, if I'm traveling a lot for work or I'm going out for pleasure, and I'm like, yeah, I go out to I go on these trips all the time. I take all of these videos, which I do, and I do tons of, content, and then it sits on my phone and I don't do anything with it. So stop wasting your travel experience and start making money from it by partnering with somebody that will convert it to new signups in your business. You send us your videos, we're going to create content aligned with your business, and you're going to now have high quality content to leverage and promote whatever it is you're working on. That's something you don't get with any other travel company. And I actually really like that as an upsell, right?
And I would do that. I would do that. Full
Yeah.
service editing for you, sure.
Yeah. So that's a great upsell, right? And a great order bump that if, they get into this, and you could then send out an email after the fact. Because the way that it's set up might be hard to then go from here to there. So you might need to do that as a follow-up, right? And you could have a few different follow-ups. Okay, you don't want the videos. Well, maybe you want, access to a retreat in Tulum. Enter Juan Martinez, right? Did you get back from your trip and you slipped and fell and hurt your neck, your back, and you need to get that back in shape? Here's Wendy, right? Did you Airbnb your house out while you were away? Well, maybe you should chat with Lawanda and she can come in and clean it, right? This is where you guys take the $100 million offer and make it a $200 million offer, right? Because now you've partnered with somebody else that you can refer business to and earn revenue from that referral, right? I truly feel that this is a very unique way to approach the $100 million offer framework. And
how about Daniel, even what you just described, though, within that, she's going to need collectives under that, because the guy who said, yeah, I can make the editing film, and I know people who do documentaries and they'd be happy to do it, but the upsell part would be like, they give time. But as Unicorn Spirit, they're not technically unicorns, people I know from before. So now, in terms of the way it can incorporate mini umbrellas under a larger umbrella, because everybody has to, treat their time. Like Wendy can only exert so much pain management, but let's say she connected with my brother at Harvard who does pain management, or someone, his team, because he doesn't have bandwidth. But if his team and the bandwidth that we take seriously as, a creative, an artist, right? So the mini collectives, and then, but it has to be charged more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. We are running pretty short on time. So the ideation is great. Let's do this more collaboratively with people offline.
Okay, cool. Got it. Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
because I want to make sure we get through this. So
sure thing. Okay.
Thank you. So and those are just ideas, right? Put some time into it. We've got tools. I'm happy to support and make recommendations as well around, ways that we can do this, right? So secondary problem is maybe they only spend money from their trip, but they don't make money from their trip. You could help them with that, right? Maybe they leave their house clean and get back and it's dirty for some reason, right? All sorts of different things, right? So the main thing being, and we won't get into this too much because that can be rather specific and really comes down to what feels good. But yeah, there are all sorts of different ways that we can stack additional value through leveraging other members, or it doesn't have to be a unicorn member, but there are reasons to do that. And yeah, and that's a good way to solve additional problems for them. And maybe sometimes that is what would really set you apart, right? And that could be part of your offer, Severina, right? Or your, the bonuses, right? Is that you're not just a typical travel agent that is able to do all of this and happy to jump on a call, but I also have other highly leverageable solutions that you could tap into to get your money back from your trip, save time while you're on your trip, delegate things out while you're on your trip, right? Maybe you need somebody to step in and answer the phones so that your business doesn't slow down. All sorts of things, right? So just kind of think about what your customers would want, right? And this is, I think, where ChatGPT could come in handy is, hey, what would my customers want, right? So we're going to kind of fly through this part of it, just out of the interest of time. And so, like I said, let me know if there are things that ideas that you want. I'm going to actually show you guys how you can do this on your own within Circle. So inside of our community platform, under tools and resources, we have, in case you guys didn't know this, a Unicorn AI Connection Concierge. This is trained on Unicorn approved solutions partners that you could literally say, I'm looking for value added partners for my travel company to include as upsells after someone signs up for my travel membership. And so you can give it this information. It's going to ask for your information. And then it will give you some recommendations based on who might make sense and what kind of products and services align with your travel agency. And, we didn't give it a ton of information, so it might ask. And I just kind of want to let you guys know that this is here. It's still under development and it doesn't have all of the Unicorn members, but here you go. A perfect example. The one that I was thinking of. A video production company specializing in corporate video content. They help with video marketing, YouTube management, and more. They can create powerful video content for your brand, that can be an upsell for those looking to enhance their travel experience with personalized video memories. Perfect, right? Perseo. These guys help with high ticket offers and getting people back on the phone. So this could be running while you're on your trip, right? So I just kind of ran out of space, it looks like. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to touch on that. So you can use this as a tool to identify potential unicorns that would be a good fit, and then go through here and reach out to them and see if it makes sense, right?
Okay.
So, yeah, so you've got your, everything kind of put into one spot. We really covered the main offer part of this. And so, the remainder of this is really just kind of incorporating it and buttoning it all up together so that you have a solid offer for people to leverage. So let's see. So then the next part, like Wendy was talking about, is the value stack. This is where you guys are going to need to go through and maybe do some research. Like Severina, we were talking about, there might be individualized price points that each of these, actually holds. And so what you can do there is ask ChatGPT for help. So we'll get to that in a second, but I just want to cover the rest of this. So as you guys are kind of finalizing your offer, go through this checklist and make sure you feel like it accomplishes everything that it's talking about. Does this solve a big problem? Does it feel effortless and exciting for the client? Does it stack massive value, right? Is what you're offering worth 10 times more than what you're asking for? If not, how can it, right? Does it include a guarantee that removes all the risk? Yes, Severina, yours totally does. It uses urgency and scarcity to drive action. I would say so. Now incorporating unicorns, does it do that? We came up with a pretty good thing there. Creates a win-win for everybody. Once you have all that, you've got a true unicorn offer. And here's an example of the one that we've got, which is for the Unicontent AI marketing machine. This is essentially a way to create a year of content in 3 hours or less without burnout, guesswork, or expensive agencies. They get the AI powered content system, exclusive access to the GPT, 100 plus content prompts, 3 months climbing the rainbow membership, AI content optimization checklist, and content repurposing guide. Each have their own individual value that we sell individually for these prices, right? So all of that together would cost them, you know, what is that? 5, 6, 7, nearly $10,000, right? But for just $19.97, they get their AI content machine set up, a year of content to scale their brand, valued at over $10,000 for just $19.97. Plus, if you don't have 12 months of content done in 3 hours, we'll work with you till you do. So that's not a bad offer, right? Anybody who is looking to create a year of content will spend $2,000 on that alone, right? And so if I can guarantee that they're going to get $2,000 of content creation alone, and they get so many other things, it's going to be a pretty solid approach. And this is what that looks like, right? This is part of a funnel that has a lead magnet with some order upsells and order bumps and things like that. But it just addresses one product, one need, one problem, one solution. And it outlines it all very focused on this one product, right? Shows them what they get. They get the GPT, they get the spreadsheet, they get the this is the full pack of everything, and the custom unicorn GPT. And then they get bonuses, right? So they get the 3 months climbing the rainbow membership, they get additional guides and checklists, and then there's a satisfaction guarantee. So like I said, create 1 year of content or in 3 hours or less, or we'll work with you to create it together. And that's legitimate, you know, and I've already done this with people. So they go through this, they look at everything they need to know, gives them the value stack. This is the AI powered content system, access to the GPT, yada, 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 yada. The one thing that I need to do with this is add these value items to each item on the list, right? Because if they see $9.97 plus this, plus that, plus this, plus that, they're gonna be like, wow, that's a lot. Oh, it's only $19.97? Awesome, right? They click get instant access, they go to the next step, and it's gonna ask for their payment info. And then, oh, look at that. They can add another member to the team for $4.97, right? And there it is. It's all put together, bam, bam, ready to go. All in one easy to understand spot, very dedicated, very focused on this one product, one offer, one solution, right? So what I would say to do next is you'll download this document that you just filled out. As a PDF is fine, or you can just, you know, select it all and copy it all. And then we're going to throw it into the chat GPT. And you guys can actually start here if you already have all of this figured out. And then ask it to, well, really whatever you want. Outline my $100 million offer and tell me ways I can maybe make it better. And an absolute home run. So it's now going to look at the PDF we just gave it, and it's going to search within its knowledge base to understand, you know, what you've got and what it knows about the $100 million offers framework. And here's what it's going to tell us. So simplified breakdown of your offer. People who like to travel want more freedom, struggle to afford to travel as often as they want. What is the outcome? Freedom to travel more for less without wasting time or money searching for deals in a fraction of the time it takes to hunt across platforms. That's a good usage of the hunt voyage terminology. And then the core offer, Travel Advantage Plus, a membership that always beats online prices. Bonuses, access to lifetime experiences, lifestyle mall, VIP benefits, extended portal access, all these things, right? The guarantee, 150% best price guarantee. Sign up before the end of the month, get a free travel consultation, right? So what have we done well? We've got the high value problem, the huge stack of bonuses, the risk reversal, the scarcity, the deadline. This is a solid 7 out of 10 offer right now. That's really nice to know, right? So clarify who it's for. This would be a good thing to get a little bit more specific with, right? And I would agree with that. People who like to travel is pretty broad, right? So, could be remote. And this is where you might want to get, into your own head about who you like to work with, who might actually need some of the other offers, right? And that's where the other unicorn part of this could make a lot more sense is, and we didn't actually give it that, but we could say, business owners who are looking to have content created from their trips and leverage that as well, right? And so that could be a good way to approach it. So anyway, so this is suggesting, maybe remote workers who crave more travel but hate paying tourist prices, busy couples, freedom-seeking families, right? I would probably go with my own version, right? But what you can see is it's going to tell you to clarify who it's for. So let's keep going from there. Quantify the outcome. So that's a good approach, right? How much are you actually able to save them? Put a number behind it, right? Are you saving them 20%, 30, 40, 70% on every trip? Make that clear, right? So you might need to do a little bit of research on that. But what's that?
Up to 80%.
Okay. So what we'll do, let's see, who are you thinking would make sense for the who behind that?
So I would think that anyone who, for families, business people who are frequent flyers, even for companies, like if you have employees who travel, this is a great way for them to save on travel as well. It saves people a lot of money and time. Every company has employees who travel, so this is a great way for them to save.
Yeah. Let's say
One
that.
one that is popular right now is all the people, they're nomads. Pretty much they just work off their laptop and they're always looking for good deals.
Yeah, I'm actually part of a nomad group. Haven't used it much, but yeah, digital nomad.
Nice.
And I
Yeah,
didn't
I like
mention the
that.
income opportunity part in there either, have I? I didn't. Yeah, I'll fix that.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. We're also gonna download this document, and let me make sure I'm not messing up my own schedule, because I'm happy to keep going and I want to make sure we come to a completion point. We're really close, so yeah, so let's keep going there. I'm good for about 15 more minutes. We'll be done by then. So the attached, so I'm gonna upload this document that you've given me, or that your website's given me, and that'll help us turn the bonuses into an outcome driven value stack, right? And we'll let it use industry standards to determine value stack based attachment for the plus membership. Yep, cool. And then amplify the guarantee. So, and I agree with that. If you find a better deal than what we offer, not only will we refund the difference, we'll give you 50% extra in travel credits. That's our 150% no-brainer guarantee. And I don't actually know what that is, right? And neither do you. I feel like that'd be an important thing to
Travel credits is cash back.
yeah, but is that the 150% guarantee?
No, that's not that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is let's figure out what that is. Oh, and we didn't even incorporate this. The making wishes real. I think that's pretty cool. But let's keep it simple for now. So then the other one it's suggesting is try it for 30 days. If you don't save at least 2 times what you paid, get 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Do you have a refund policy? Is that something that you could actually say?
So in 2 weeks, once you become a member, you have up to 2 weeks to cancel your membership and get your refund 100%.
Okay, so try for, and you don't need more than 2 weeks. And I mean, they will more than likely save at least 2 times what they paid, right? And like,
Up to
it doesn't
80%.
really. Yeah, so like if someone's travel is $1,000 and you're saving them, 80%, I mean, let's say it's $500, 80% off of what they would be spending would be more than what they would pay for the membership, right?
Yeah.
So that's no brainer, right? So we'll keep it with that. We'll just make sure the timeline is correct. Stackable result, in 24 hours or less, get insider pricing without touching a single travel site. Not bad. We'll leave that the way it is. Create an optional strategic unicorn partner offer. And this is where it's giving you some ideas. A budgeting or travel hacking coach. Okay. Content creator course on digital nomadism. There you go, Juan. Didn't even hear our part of that. Luggage or gear brand for exclusive members only bundles. Okay. So that's not a bad idea. You could maybe partner with like a luggage company or, something like that, right? I want to actually give it what we talked about earlier. 6. Mhm. Stop letting those videos go to waste. We'll take them and create highly converting content aligned with your business to actually get an ROI on your trip. That's pretty solid. Like, that's really good.
You could also add, because I have a woman from Saudi Arabia. She's basically she owns 8 businesses, but she's a travel blogger as well. So she uses this for all, she has so many pictures, etc. So she thought this was a great idea. So she became a member. It's also good for travel bloggers, not just for people who have a whole bunch of pictures, but those who actually do it for as work. And they make money just by signing up other members.
Okay. And so does she like go with them or she just writes about the trip?
Yeah, so she just talks about her trip and she tells people if you want to learn how you could travel more for less, just contact me or, and that's it. And once they become a member, she earns in 8 ways from that.
Okay.
Daniel, if I have to go now, but I wanted to mention that Adam, the guy I had introduced, is working on basically what everybody's talking about for a specific sport. So he's doing it for tennis and his nomadic based company. Then anybody who has anything, they can reach out to me. Daniel knows my ideas are my expertise. So he's trying to keep it strategic, and I appreciate that. So just reach out, anybody in particular that may want to collaborate.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Thanks, Rhea. All right. And then it's, suggesting that we come up with a more catchy offer name, which I hear that. Do any of these resonate, or should we ask it for more kind of based on the updated information we're giving it? You're muted.
Sorry, I forgot I was on mute. It's something more like travel's hidden secret, because not many people know about this because they don't spend money on marketing.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I think there's more to that. It definitely drives intrigue, but I don't think necessarily touches on kind of some of the pain point and the result side of things. What if it was, I almost like it's like time traveling, saving time and money. I don't know. There could be something there. But anyway, let's keep moving forward so we can wrap up here in a minute. And then I'm not gonna ask it for that because I want to give it what we talked about. And it's going to give us the fully built out $100 million offer. So your offer, family business owners and their employees who want to travel more often without it draining their time or budget. It's got tight targeting, really appeases to the audience that would really, I think, resonate with this. Stretching their dollar, saving time, creating meaningful experiences. What's the outcome? Travel more often for less money and actually turn your travel into content that grows your business or a second income stream. So that's kind of touching on the upsells, right? And I think that's pretty valuable, right? Offer stack. So you can put this on your site that really shows a perceived value of, you know, $2,800 per month per year, right? And this is, you know, all included with it, right? And, you know, thank you ChatGPT for this, because, you know, that could take a good amount of time to come up with yourself. And it's real, you know, these are real things, right? So this would be a great thing to have on a landing page. Bonuses that stack the value, you know, turning content into customers. Turn your travel videos and photos into high converting content for your business. Reels, testimonials, shorts, carousels. You know, one of my favorite things to do when I go on a trip is interview people, random people on the street. There was this kid that was in Chicago. He was walking around with a little posse of people and he was recording and I was recording. I was like, hey man, you want to do an interview? And he was like, I'm the one interviewing. I'm like, not today. I'm interviewing you because, you know, we're both out here. He's like, let's go. We were walking and we're talking. Kid's got like a couple million followers on YouTube. And, you know, I didn't post it because I really didn't like his responses. And his whole thing was pranking grandmas. So I was like, that's not cool, man. I don't like that. I'm like, why do you got to prank grandmas? They don't like that. You're going to kill somebody. But anyway, that's a really good thing to do. And not everybody does that, right? So this is a good way to kind of encourage that. And then, hey, now it could even be a tax write-off, right? If you were going for fun, create some content, do it this way, and you can actually then write it off if you approach it in that way. You're going out there to create content and get sales for your business, you know? Maybe you don't want to do that. Well, fine. Shoot your videos, take care of all of your stuff, send it to us, and we'll handle the rest, right? You're taking videos and all that anyway. You might as well make something out of them, right? The blogger partner income stream, that's a good approach with this. The 2-week risk-free trial, that's a good way to mention that. No downside. The first 20 members. And maybe what it is, yeah, travel optimization session. Get the most from the portal and leverage the partnerships to not only save money, save time, but earn money and without wasting your time on that stuff. So here's your Grand Slam offer. Travel's hidden secret for families, business owners, and their team who want to travel smarter, not harder. Get exclusive access to deep hotel discounts, flight savings, travel perks, curated experiences, and loyalty rewards. Plus, we'll turn your travel content into a revenue machine, all backed by our 2-week try-it-free guarantee. That's a $2,845 value, yours for just $19.97 a month. You can cancel anytime. 20 bonus strategy sessions available this month. So you got to sign up this month or else you're not going to get it. And there you go. Now you've got your clear outcome, your avatar, no risk buyer, stacked bonuses, scarcity and urgency, perceived value, secondary problem, plus the strategic partner and the category of one positioning.